Hey everyone, this is an important message, especially for those people who feel like they have been being buried by the weight that other people want to throw on them. They're basically just trying to stone them to death with everything that they do, or stone you to death with everything that they do. And it's just a fact that God isn't allowing these people to bury His chosen. He's literally planting them, and for these people to think that you don't have the right to your origination of sound mind is just absurd. So, for people who have been targeted with anything at all, not just poisons, but literally the directed energy pew pew weapons, they're trying to bury you. They thought that that dirt would silence you, and that's where they were wrong, because it didn't blind you. It maybe blinded you for a little while, but it didn't break you. And they forgot that just the one thing that destroys every plan that's built on this kind of jealousy, envy, and secretive hate is that God isn't going to allow it. So you might feel like you're planted inside of that storm, but know this, you're not abandoned. God is always right there, and the reason that is because God's word is forever. It's from the time it was first made and created, all throughout the ends of time and the ends of the earth. So you're being positioned. What looked like the end was really the moment heaven said, "Well, watch this." They mistake your silence for surrender, and they mistake your disappearing for defeat. As though, even if they are to get away with taking lives, they think that they have defeated you based on all of their secretive hate, and they don't. That is legitimately why there is the word of the Lord. So these people are like claiming, well, why doesn't your prayers work? Why don't your prayers work? They'll say, my prayers have been working, and they always did work. Just because they're like, what they're trying to get at is like, oh, you're in so much pain, oh, you're going through this, oh, you're going through that. Well, where is your God now, is what they're like. Where is your God now? My God is in heaven, and He's literally protected me from 86 attacks to 86 me that way on 86 different platforms and 86 different levels, busting out in 86 different directions. You know what I mean? Like, that's legitimately what God does, and these people can't stand it. So even if they don't show people that they're embarrassed for where they moved with another person's life, your own for an example, they don't see the truth. God's got blinders on their eyes, or maybe they're so choosing to stay blind. But the fact of the matter is that they're mistaking your heartbeat as a means to end you, because that's what they would have done no matter what. Some of these people will look at themselves and they'll want to reverse engineer it, which is the proper thing to do. Turn around from your sin. None of us are perfect here. But these people will just take it to the ends of the earth. They're like, hatred or love? I'm going to hate. And they just want to hate. And that's all it is. It's all it's about. They just want to continue to hate. Like, if they could go back and do it all over again, they would. If they could go back and do it all over again, it wouldn't be I mean, I'm not saying for everybody, but the haters, it would definitely be morbid. They would just continue to choose their morbidity. But you were building something new. You were building something fresh, something quietly behind the scenes. And it's not about being violent, but it's about being spiritually aligned with the Lord. It's about reading your Bible. It's about getting to know the Lord. It's about, just confronting the deep fakes, these future faking, covert malignant narcissists, and the narcissism itself that you might not even be able to see where it's coming from at times based on how decrepit that they can get a person's life. And that's what their plan is. So it's almost kind of a laughable matter when you really think about it, because if this life is all just like an unnoticeable blink of an eye, and there's eternity after, well, these people just really effed up. I mean, they really effed up. So they come in packs against targets because they think that you're alone. They think that they're taking your forgiveness and your kindness as if it's weakness, but you are being heaven backed. You have angels that fight for you. You have your ancestry that fights for you in prayers while they were here, and whatever God allows in the afterlife, that I have no idea how beautiful heaven can be. But heaven's war back against these people, it might not be about fairness or what feels fair, but it is what is divine. It is thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, not my will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You pray for things, and God has a timing and a place for everything, just as is said in the Bible. So, yeah, they betrayed you. They lied on your name. They hacked your peace. They twisted your truths, and they tried to rearrange your destiny as if they owned it. They watched you suffer with smiles that weren't true smiles, because they were masked with glued insecurities and fear. They watched you suffer with everything that they did to you to light the fires that they planned to walk away from. I think I said that wrong in the beginning there. I meant that they watched you suffer with these deep fake smiles that weren't smiles at all. They just masked they glued on their masks so tightly with their insecurity and fear of you ever coming to find out who they were. So that's why they lit up the fires and planned for you to walk into that fire while they're sitting there fanning the flames all around your life. They wrote stories where they were the hero and you were the problem. But what they never accounted for was that what you do through your walk doesn't define you. It's what God brings out of all of that does define you. Because God doesn't look at our actions, He looks at our heart. Where is your heart? And where is these people's hearts? Because through every lie crafted, it left a trail, and that's the breadcrumbing that these people will do. Through every manipulation that leaves a fingerprint attached to it. And every false mask slipped right in front of the wrong eyes. So heaven watched all of it in silence, not sleeping, recording it all. They expected your downfall because they set up for it. They had literally like a brick and mortar system that they thought was just foolproof. Nothing is going to get past this, they thought. So instead of it actually tearing you down and creating your downfall, what it did was take you into transformation. You're not to conform to this world, because that's conformation, or conforming in the corrosion that exists in the world, you're supposed to transform and transmute that energy that these people want to take into your life, right? And so when they're stalking their proof, when they stalked for proof of failure, you grew in ways that they couldn't understand. They whispered while you healed. They stayed in silences while you were just trying to grind through and make something of yourself. So while they plotted upon you and you rose up, their jealousy, envious spirits couldn't handle it. It was embarrassing to them, to themselves. They can go ahead and block all of that feeling from other people to be able to see through to who these people are, but they can't block that emotion for themselves. They gotta stare at themselves in the mirror, which is exactly what I recommend for people to do. Go look at yourself in the mirror, determine what demons you have, expose your own inner wounds. Usually it's from childhood, and don't refuse to heal. Refuse to be conformed by this world. Transform and transmute the energies. Because if you allow these things to break you, you then become broken and you break other people. It's as simple as that. But regardless of what happens here on earth, they don't break you because you have everlasting life as a promise in heaven. But what they did instead of breaking you is they actually revealed you to yourself. So it wasn't about revenge, it was just about walking away. Your rise is literally the reckoning of who you are. Your peace is that justice. Your resilience is that exposure. Their masks are cracking now. Their alliance are shaking. Their stories are unfolding under the weight of the truth of what they tried to bury. Why? Because truth doesn't stay buried. It waits. It resurfaces it into the thin air. And right now, it's surfacing through me and through you. As long as you're on the right side of the tracks, you're not playing these games, and you're not running along with their games anymore from how they want to play about your life behind your back. They forgot the most ancient spiritual law of all. What they did in secret will always return in public. And the fact of the matter is that when they try to roll stones over you, they will roll back to them. I can't remember exactly the Bible verse I'm thinking of there, but it's like karma. It's like where, if they're planning this evil, that evil that they're planning is going to come back to them. If they're digging a person's grave, like meaning to throw somebody into an early grave, all that energy that they're using can be then transmuted and in that non-conforming. So like you're non-conforming. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. You're translating that energy back at them when you pray against the enemy's attacks, and you're praying for your enemies. It literally translates back to them with everything that they were doing to you. And so the pit that they dug for you, they're the ones that are standing in it. That stone that they tried to roll over your life, it's rolling back towards their own. The curses that they spoke over your future, it never landed. It just was returned to the sender. So what hurts you now is not anger. Though you might feel angry and frustrated, you might feel sad and confused, and you might have every right to feel angry, and hurt. But what you're really feeling is clarity. to finally being able to see who was for you and who was literally there to feed off of you, to build off of your life. You finally see who walked with you and who walked around you. And you finally can spot that fake energy, and you're not tolerating it. All that they used to confuse you and to frustrate you, now it's loud, and it's shaky, and it's exposed. So that heartbreak that you've lived through, let's talk about that. Because yeah, it's heartbreaking, but it's not just heartbreaking. It's literally harm that's wrapped inside of charm, that you can be love bombed, you can be sought after. These people can literally aim to steal your life away, as if to legitimately hack you, for an example, to the point of stealing every last little piece of energy of everything out of your life, as though to swallow you up and flat out erase you. And that's some cowardice games, because that's suggesting that all of your time and energy into actually making your own scripts, for an example, is being ripped up by these people so that they can portray whatever they need to portray of you instead of what you're actually saying, because what you're actually saying is hurting them. It's exposing them of their exploiting you. They've used every single means of effort to exploit you, and it was all dressed up in support. It was all dressed up in love when it was never loving. It was just a jealousy or an envy or a deep fake, a future faking, hidden in plain sight and played as if it's love, as if they cared about you. So yeah, that pain is deep. The pain isn't just a surface level of pain. The pain is something that you chose to still grind through and rise through. And even if you didn't understand it at times, you still took your prayers to the Lord, or you did whatever you had to do to get out from underneath that pain. You rose when you couldn't explain your pain. You rose through forces meant to keep you mentally trapped. You rose through spiritual warfare that was supposed to erase you. You rose through nights that were meant to destroy you and destroy your will to even keep going at all. And you kept going. So thank God for that. And now you're rising into that clarity that's so deep that can see through these things, that I believe all of heaven is applauding your efforts here, and heaven is backing you. Your path is being cleared, your name is being restored, your future is being rebuilt from the ground up. It doesn't have to be tolerated, but you should be celebrated. It doesn't have to be dimmed, but you should be honored in a real love, not compared. So you were never meant to stay buried. You were meant to bloom. So now the question isn't will you rise? It's just recognizing that you already did. They didn't ever think that you were ever going to take yourself out online. They didn't ever think that you were going to do anything with your life, with everything that they had placed on your life. They legitimately wanted to throw up shade, dig the hole for your grave, throw you in it, and bury you alive. So, what you've already gone through, you just have to question for yourself, are you ready to walk inside of that miracle? To see yourself for all that you were actually born to be? Are you ready to grind? Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to rock and roll? Because they never wanted to see anything of those sorts happen for you. God always planned for you to be able to live and for you to live beautifully. And this world just doesn't have the capacity to hold that beautiful anymore. If it ever did. Which is very questionable at this point of humanity with the social climate and the political climate. But as far as that climate change is concerned, that's only climate change that we're receiving. It has nothing to do with the weather. Sure, they want to modify the weather. They want to enter geoengineering. But they're not going to be able to run from the truth. They can try to outrun the consequences, but you're stepping up into the future that was always yours to begin with, and with the light that's too bright for their shadows to follow. So keep going, my friends. Thank you for being here, and I hope you're all taking care of yourselves.